You're listening to Life and Shyt. I'm Danielle Walker.
And I'm Tommy Walker.
Join us as we talk about our journey overcoming fears, boundaries, marriage, family, lifestyle, business, and whatever other shit you can think of.
We're individuals that came together to create one unit with one mind and one goal.
Hey.
What's up, girl?
How are you?
Outstanding.
I got a question for you.
Hit me.
It's gonna be a good hit.
Are you gonna curse? Is that why you look like that?
He always laughs when I curse.
You know Danielle is the worst cursing person on this planet.
I'm not really a cursing person. That's why.
Yeah, you don't curse.
Well, I do. I do curse. I'm not saying I don't curse. Anywho, what is the difference between a assertive woman and a bitch?
What's the difference between an assertive woman and a bitch?
Mm-hmm. Is there a difference?
Nothing. There's nothing different. No, but I guess it depends the approach that you come in on, right? So I think people use the word bitch a little too loosely, right? Or even like asshole, right? Asshole, bitch, same thing, depending on
to me
if you talk about the masculine or feminine energy. Mm-hmm. But from a is there a difference? No, I don't think there's a difference. I think you know if you're a bitch, people only call you a bitch because you might have rubbed them the wrong way. But at the same time, you was being assertive, probably, like you were being honest, or you were being candid or transparent, and usually that's what the term, you know what I mean, when people say, "Oh, she's a bitch." Why? Oh, because she was honest with me.
She told me about myself.
Yeah. Now, granted, what would be a bitch? Like, what would legitimately be someone that's like, oh, she's a real bitch?
No, that was a bitch move, yeah. Right? Like, because there's bitch moves. All right, we'll get more into that. So we'll introduce our guest.
Super excited. This is Women's Heritage Month, so we're celebrating her story, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's I'm not going to take that. That was right from our guest who we have in the building today, and super excited to have Sandra. Sandra is we've been rocking with Sandra for almost 3 years now. We met Sandra, and she is like the hustler of hustlers.
Yeah, she is.
She has a corporate day job, so she has the 9 to 5. And then she has multiple businesses. And when you hear about the multiple businesses today, you'll see how she runs the 8-hour day and not even 8 hours. I think you work like 10, 12 hours a day and then run the other businesses and successful in every aspect. So it's not like she's working in the corporate world in a corny employee. Like she's really good at that.
Yes.
So I'm super, super excited to have Sandra. And this show all month long is really highlighting all the different women that are in our lives, right? People that we've come across, work with, have some type of relationship.
Respect.
And we just want to highlight them and talk to them about their life and shit.
Yeah.
So welcome to the show, Sandra.
Welcome. Thank you. So one of the first questions that I always like to ask, and people always ask of our guests are you single and ready to mingle?
I am not single.
She's taken, y'all.
But I don't have a ring on it, so,
no pressure.
Yeah.
So your boyfriend's listening. He's like, "Damn it."
She's taken, but the deal is not sealed.
Yeah.
Correct.
And then tell us a little bit about your occupation, your hustles, or what you got going on.
Of course. So like Tommy said, and I have my corporate 9 to 5. It's not really a 9 to 5. It's more of like when shit needs to get started and shit needs to get done. So sometimes that runs 8 hours. Sometimes that runs 12 hours, right? But I also manage multiple Airbnbs. I'm in the real estate industry. I love to buy homes that have a little bit of opportunity and flip them. But I'm not in the selling industry. I like to acquire them for long-term, short-term rentals. Also just started a boat rental business, offering bougie cruises in the San Diego Bay. It's the best way to experience our beautiful San Diego views. But I really I guess I like to host. I like to be the hostess with the mostest.
I like the bougie cruise and being a host. Like, there's a lot of energy. We talked about, throwing parties and stuff like that and hosting. So there is a lot of energy that goes into that.
Definitely.
And so like legitimately, you're in the hospitality business from Airbnb to the boats. Super dope.
So I was going to ask next, what do you like to do for fun?
Well, what I like to do for fun, I like to really just be at the beach, at the water. I love long walks, and I think for the last couple of years I've been having a lot of like I've been going through a lot of mental growth. So something I really, really enjoy doing on my downtime is really just taking long walks by the beach. It really opens my third eye, I call it, and it opens my ideas. And the last couple of years have been running with every idea that comes through my mind. And if it sticks, if I go on a walk again and I go on another walk and I still think about it, I gotta do it. So
I like that. Connecting to nature.
Yes, it's connecting to nature.
And what are your dreams?
My dreams, man. My most recent dream that I have currently is I kind of want to just travel like the world. I know everybody says that's so cliche, but I really want to like travel.
I mean, why not, right?
Yeah.
It's a deal. It's a thing.
Travel, but travel I don't know, travel my origins, go to Mexico and travel all over Mexico, get to know all over America. I just came from Yosemite, a national park. I had never been to a freaking national park. I'm so embarrassed to say that, but so beautiful.
I've never been to, we got New York City parks, and none of those is national.
You went to,
where we go?
What is it?
And I know what you're going to say, in Arizona.
Yes.
Yeah, we did. See?
We can't even think of what it is.
I can't even.
Is it the Grand Canyon?
Yeah, the big hole.
Yeah. The red stuff.
Oh, no. You know what? You're right. I wasn't even thinking about that one, though. I was thinking about the
Red Rock?
The one in Sedona where we went to the ruins.
Okay.
Sedona Park. I think that's what it's called.
Totally forgot what the name of that one is, but
I wasn't even thinking about that.
Nah, but but real talk though, it's so much opportunity here in the United States, as far as national parks go, all of we looked up the natural wonders of the world, things like that, and there's a lot of opportunity here. Even when we traveled up north and seen all the things
Washington and Oregon, wow, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's super dope. Yes. So that's real dope. And then like you said, traveling to Mexico, we've seen we talk about it all the time, all the different parts, and with us living down there, it just makes us want to dive into it even more.
Yes. That beautiful scenery. So I definitely want to I kind of want to backpack, kind of get on an RV and just
that's gangster.
Take off.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm always split between the two.
Yeah.
I want to hustle my way, to establish myself, and I've hustled enough, and I just want to kind of grab a backpack and just run now.
Yeah, I like that.
You guys feel that too?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely been feeling that. Just have no real home, but lots of them, right? It's lots of homes.
We talk about that all the time, not having a physical address, right? And just being on the move. And honestly, I feel like we're working on that, right?
We're headed there.
The step was to live outside the country, and if we was okay with that, then we could backpack anywhere. And traveling to Europe kind of.
We tried to backpack there, but it was kind of a backpacking and like a roller.
Well, the way you travel, you gotta be a minimalist to backpack.
That's why I haven't done it. I have to figure out how to make my wardrobe fit.
Yeah.
That's like, wait, what? Shrinking down
everything.
Life.
He's like, we're supposed to be backpacking, babe. I'm like, this is backpacking.
I need those shoes.
For the dinner. 4 pair of shoes for a 2-day trip. That's
no, we were gone for 2 weeks. So let's ask you the question. What is the difference between an assertive woman or a bitch?
Well, that was a great question. And Tommy kind of hit on the spot. I was going to say the delivery of the message, I would think definitely differentiates what makes a bitch and an assertive woman. But then I was going to ask, what do we call a man who's a bitch? An assertive man? Because I've heard that
asshole.
An asshole? Oh, damn, he's an asshole? Mm-hmm. I don't hear it as much as, damn, she's a bitch.
Maybe you're not around enough assholes.
Yeah, probably.
I get told I'm an asshole at least once a month.
Really?
Yeah. Sometimes by my wife.
You know Tommy's attitude. You know Tommy's work ethic, right? It's pretty to the point. It's pretty strict. He gives lots of leeway, though. I think our employees now don't think that of you. They probably think I'm more of a bitch than that you're an asshole. Mm-hmm. And that's and for me, it's if I give a message and it just doesn't, if it's not clear, or I've given it several times and it still feels as if it's not getting clear, then they'll say, I think that's what it is. And it's like, dang, she said that bitchy. No, I said it for the 4th time. That's what. Now it's a problem.
Well, that and then I think it has a lot to do with your face too. Don't have a rusting bitch face. It's like you ask the question, it's like, damn, why you give me that face? That was
You know what? I could agree with that because I feel like I'm very assertive, but at least people have gotten compliments. Well, you know, Sandra, if anyone's gonna come and give me feedback, at least it's you, because you come with the biggest smile on your face, and then you give me something nice after, and I'm like, yeah, thank you. You know, to your point, and maybe it's because we have a million things going on in our mind, but when I deliver my message, I'm a businesswoman. I like to say that. So, what do you want? You know, don't bullshit me with a good morning, how are you? I don't give a fuck. What do you need from me?
Yeah,
you know, because I got other shit to do. And I feel like I want to respect other people's time. So I'm sure you're busy. You're busy. So what's up? You know, people, though, I've learned, especially now as I'm working in a different space, I've had to go back and read my emails. Wait, let me go ahead and put, how are you?
Yes.
Soften it a little bit, you know?
Yeah. And see, I'm the total opposite with my delivery. I'm going to give you the sugar, and then I'm going to give you the shit. And I just told someone that today. I was like, no. Like, you can't just go right in with the, especially when you talk to different people in different industries.
Yeah.
People that are a little more rough around the edges, then they're not going to take it. They're going to look at, it's going to be a and you don't want that. So you come in and you're just like,
What's
make
up?
their day, like, oh, like, shit, you killed it here, you killed it there, but you fucked up here and here and here, and I need you to fix it, and some people are more receptive to that. But then, like you said, there's other people that are like, just give it to me straight, give it to me quick too, especially if you're dealing with business owners.
Yeah.
So it sounds like delivery is the key factor that makes it the difference, right? As long as the delivery is whatever it is, then you might not come across. Because, and the reason why we ask this question, in talking about, Herstory Month, we talking about women in business and just the history of women, period. There's never a comparison of why a billionaire woman got to her part to compare to like a Elon Musk, right? People always talk about, like, we see all these billionaires, mostly men, in the news, but we never see the billionaire women in the news as often.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, and then we got comparisons of like, oh, well, how did this person did this? I'm sure these guys were assertive, assholes probably.
Oh, yeah.
And women, you have to be the same way.
Yeah.
Right.
Specifically working with a bunch of men.
Yeah,
1,000%.
Exactly.
Especially like, oh, you're young. Oh, you have to put on the big. So here, let me tell you how it works. Bitch hats. There's like 10 levels. Okay? You're a woman. You have to put one bitch hat on. You're a pretty woman. You better put on 2 bitch hats on, right? Or else they're not gonna respect you. You're young. Oh, you better put a 3rd bitch hat on. And that's just like to make sure like they understand you're serious, right? Like, I think I'm a total different person. It's funny. Like, you guys talk to me outside of work all the time, right? At work, I'm a total different animal than outside of work. Like, I'm a fun fucking person. You know what I mean? I like to have a good fucking time. I got a boat to just have a good time, right? But at work, I have to be a certain way to be taken seriously. And I've been in this position, in this leadership position, I think, since I was 19. So imagine me at 19, looking like cute little chick, with managing employees double my age, right? For them to take me seriously, at first they thought it was funny. I'm like, I'm not. Is this funny?
Yeah.
At first, when I was actually being my natural self, like, I got sexually harassed at work. Not sexually harassed, but my employees didn't know how to like separate that line, and they thought we were friends. So quickly, I had to go like from bitch. I learned like in 1 month, an employee got obsessively obsessed and followed me to all this BS that I learned that I had to be a bitch. And I guess, Tommy, to your point, assertive or a bitch at work. But since that incident, I've been a certain way at work. At work, I'm hoochie at work. I'm sexy outside of work, but at work, I'm covered up, so I could be taken seriously.
Yes.
Right? I don't wear too much makeup. I don't focus on my looks too much.
That's huge. That's a huge thing.
So let me
and Tommy often go back and forth about that.
Yeah.
Because I tell Danielle all the time. Now, as a business owner, I'm like, hey, there's a particular look that you should have. Now, before that, I know you didn't care about that because, like you said, it was like you had to you trying to war off the wolves,
exactly.
Right? So let's talk about that a little bit. It's like, why? It's like because you're young. Like I like how you put that all the different hats. You're young. If you're pretty, and being a woman now. Why do you have to literally change who you are as a person just so people could take you serious?
Well, if you come in with a pair of tits, then that's all they're going to look at is a pair of tits. And honestly, the women are going to look at you the same way, and so are men, to be honest.
Okay, so then the
women will bring it to the male's attention and let them know that she
Sandra's
is
only in her role because of her looks. You know how many times I heard that growing up? And it's funny because I'm so happy that when prior to my corporate 9 to 5, I was in like a fast food restaurant, but I developed really quickly at Panda Express, and I developed really quickly in that role. But I remember hearing from my peers like, "Oh, it's because of her looks." My manager was a woman. My skip manager was a woman. My regional was a woman, and they saw something in me, so they kept on developing me, right? But I remember anytime I used to get hit with that, it was because of my looks. I would say, no, I got developed by X, Y, and Z.
Right.
But if I hadn't imagined, I would have been in Lyfe.
And it's like, why do you have to prove yourself in that sense? You know, it's just like.
Let's talk about delivering results as a woman. I've had to deliver twice the results as my male counterparts.
Yes.
To just be taken it seriously. Like,
you have more to prove.
Yes.
1,000%.
Yeah. Danielle brought up a good thing today when we was talking about the show. She was saying how in the tech world, there's so much more opportunity now in tech because, you don't know who makes what in tech, right? You don't know who's behind any laptop, who's behind the software, who's behind the algorithm. And so therefore, there's no judgment. Unless you're in the office, and then now even today, people are working from home.
Exactly.
So you don't know who's putting in the results,
exactly.
like you said. But that old way of thinking is like, come with it, but come with it faster and better. So some dude may have 2 weeks to do the same thing that you have 7 days to do, and have to do it better.
Yep, always. I've always felt like I've had to over deliver because especially now in my corporate job that I have, right? That industry was so saturated with men when I started that I remember everybody thought I was just gonna be the cute face of the team. Like I was just, you're just so cute. They were cheerleader. They thought I was a cheerleader.
Yeah.
You were gonna
go get lunch. Go get.
Oh my God. You know how to piss off an assertive woman? Treat her like a secretary or an assistant.
Yeah.
I flip my shit like in a second. Like, nope. I'm not here to. Oh no. But you know what's funny? So I love in return what I do is to deliver results, double the results, and I have all my male counterparts asking me, feeding me, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Yeah, you're gonna." I get everyone to do what I want because What are you doing different? You know what I do different? I just treat people like people.
Oh, yes. I know that's right. That's real.
You know what I mean? Like
that's real shit.
Yeah.
Do you find?
Here in the U.S., only 5% of women are in CEO positions right now.
5%.
Only 5%. In France and Norway and I think it's Norland, they have over 14 to 40% of women in CEO or C-level positions, and that's crazy.
It is.
Compared to us.
I believe it because I think you get to a certain point in your career where you're gonna, like, I'm at that stage, I think, like where I'm like, all right, this corporate America, it's awesome, it's great, but is this the life I want to live forever? Or do I want to now focus on my personal life and start my family and have kids and all that? Because I sure as hell don't see myself being able to do that with my corporate day job, right?
Yeah.
So yes, I definitely see why 5% makes sense, right? I feel like now, at least my generation of women are kind of taking a second look at what their life, what they want their life to look like, right? Are they like?
It's different. It's way different now. I was watching. It was Law and Order, and this guy says, these women nowadays, they have this pressure of being pretty, making the bacon, bringing the bacon, cooking the bacon,
then being the fucking housewife.
And then
I say how
I
it
was
is.
like,
ooh, yeah. I'm like, I'm either a working woman or a housewife, baby. You cannot have both of those.
It's funny. The fact that you said you was watching Law and Order first.
I know. I was gonna say, when you attempt to watch Law and Order, Danielle.
I was on a woman's retreat actually, and I was ironing for the.
You was getting ready to go to.
Yep, and I just actually I heard that, and I was like, what the fuck?
Because I'm like, hold up, I know what you watch. Law and Order is never on the TV.
It was just on,
and was it like episode 500?
Right.
Because they got all kind of episodes. Like what year did you watch? Was that 94 Law and Order, or was that 20? I don't even know. 2014. But it's a good point. But that's a very good point, and how much work women are putting in. Now, when you talked about 5% CEO or C level here in America and 14% in Norway or Netherlands?
Norway.
Sorry,
yes.
So I look at it like mentorship too, right? Like Sandra, in your position, do you find women that you want to mentor? And it's like, you know what? I see the hustle. Like how you said in Panda Express.
Yeah.
Right? They see the hustle in you. They seen the opportunity.
That's why I'm still there.
And they brought you up, right? So do you see that now first in the corporate world, do you see that? And then in your business, do you see other women? Because you made reference before we started the show about how dude said you're the first woman that he ever sold a boat to.
Yeah.
Are you seeing opportunity to mentor?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I think, I don't have time for social media, but I'm starting to use my social media platform to share my tips and strategies. It's kind of biting me in the ass a little bit because, whatever, people taking my ideas or get really personal and ask me, personal questions like how much I'm X, Y, and Z. That has nothing to do with what you're going to do, right?
Always want to know what's in your pocket.
Always. And I'm like, well, how does this help your situation? I'm just trying to share what I'm doing because I come from an inner city community where I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. The only reason I'm in my position is because people have seek me out as a little mentee. Hey, look at Sandra, you work hard as fuck. Hey, take some of that money and buy a house. Yeah, you're gonna need it for later. Okay, no one in my family has a house. Okay, I'll do it. I've been giving guidance and I've been taking guidance, so I want to pass it on forward, and that's why I use my platforms to share. Hey guys, this is what you guys should be doing. Hey, if you don't know, this is what you guys should be doing.
Love it.
But also in corporate America, I do that. I'm in my position. I'm in corporate America still for those opportunities. Exactly to your point. When I joined this industry, there was not a lot of people that looked like me, right? So now I take pride in any event that I can be the face of. I am the face of, just so I can show the other little Sandras that out there.
I love it.
That's super dope.
Yeah. You could be like me. You see,
pull them up.
Yeah,
I like the other little Sandras. Because that's one of Danielle's things. Why we started the nonprofit too is Danielle has a passion for helping young women in between a certain age group because of where you came from and what you saw.
Yes, definitely. Because of it's once people turn 18, they kind of get dropped off. No one takes care of them. The county doesn't pay for them. So this is kind of like a lost group.
And
there.
It's a rough time too. You're going through so much mental time, right?
Yeah, you're growing up. You're not really a kid anymore, but you're not an adult. You haven't really done adult things. It's really a funky type of time. So we talked about being a bitch or being assertive, and being a woman and just working with men on a C level. Tell me your experience with that, or how you feel about that when you walk into a boardroom. And in our industries, we know there's mostly men in the room, right? How has it been with your communication and working with men?
Well, have to be very assertive. And also, I have to make it a point whenever I'm in those situations. First of all, I have to acknowledge that I have my spot in the table. It took me a lot to remember that.
Yes.
It took me a lot to to feel comfortable in the table, right? I always used to trickle in and hide, sneak into my chair of the table. No, it's my motherfucking spot in the table.
Right.
Yep, I earned this spot. Yep. Hey, Joe. So what do I do now? And I give this advice to all of my peers. Whenever I run into what I call the little man syndrome, when guys are a certain height or whatever, or whenever they're ugly or something, he has this syndrome. So what I do with them, I just talk to them like a normal Joe. You gotta humble people.
They're usually the meanest.
Exactly. So the one that never wants to say hi, the rudest, the one with the biggest resting bitch face. I would just be, hey Joe, what's up? Yeah, I'm what's up? Not hey, hi, good morning, how are you? No,
hey Joe, what's up? I'm gonna
talk to you.
I'm not gonna hide from you. I'm not avoiding you. It's no, I'm in your face. Right? I love it. Great. I love it. And then so dealing with men is one thing. Then dealing with women, it's a whole nother.
This is
thing.
a little
and it's a
sensitive subject to my heart.
And then there's only so many of us. So why shouldn't we all get along?
Right. And this is what kills me, sister. It kills me because the females in the room then try to see as competition. It's girl, we're not competing. We're competing against him. And I could say I could have been in a lot higher positions by now, but I'm very happy where I'm at in my corporate company or whatever. But it's because I don't like to do that dog eat dog shit. I'm gonna get my spot. I'm gonna earn my spot. I'm never gonna tear down a woman to put myself in that spot.
Right.
But not a lot of people think like us.
That's just real.
You know what I'm saying?
But it always comes back though. Like,
Yeah.
like if you do something, or like, you know, we was discussing about people taking ideas, or if you do something, it's gonna come back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Like they say, the same people you step over, you're going to have to step back down and, you know,
Exactly,
so
yeah.
see again.
Yeah, and like I'm always a firm believer. Like I sleep at night very well. You know what I mean? Because I don't have no malice.
You know?
Or no ill issues towards my intentions are always pure.
Yep.
You know, to other people, it's like, yo, and if I make a mistake, then it's like, yo, that was a legit mistake, but it wasn't no ill will.
And then you
Right,
apologize.
right.
Like people have such big egos. I'm like, I'll be there for. I am so sorry. Like, you know,
1,000%. Yeah, 1,000%. And you know, one thing you talk about is like taking advice and receiving advice, and in your businesses that you're in, nobody taught you how to do Airbnb. Nobody, like you said, especially like we're all from the
I got a little guidance.
Yeah.
I have a little guidance, but like investing in real estate and investing in my stocks, which has helped me greatly to fund my other projects. Like to your point, nobody.
So talk about that. Like, where's because it ain't like you just got into real estate, right?
Right.
It wasn't like you just got into Airbnb.
Right.
Because I know you've done stuff in Texas, California. So talk about like that origin and how that came about.
So, I mean, honestly, I've always had a passion for a house. Like, I just always wanted to have a house, maybe because I never had a home growing up, right? I grew up in a very limited resources inner city community. So, growing up, I think I always aspired to have a home. So, as soon as, like, I learned a little bit of growing up when I was going through high school, and I always overachieved in school. You know, school wasn't really that hard for me, but I wasn't focused in school because, again, nobody in my family was focused in school, right? Nobody guided me there. It all started with, like, a mentor that, like, seeked me out in my junior year in high school. And she's like, hey, Sandra, you know you're going to be valedictorian next year. You're going to graduate, like, the number one at the high school. I'm like, oh, no, I'm not checking. What college are you going to go to? I don't know.
Actually, tough question.
Like, I'm like, what the fuck? Well, you need to start applying for that now so you can get into, you're the number one in the school. You have so much opportunities to get it because, of course, going to inner city, like, high school, they're like, you know, they want at least the top percents to go to university, right?
Yes,
so it was this mentor that she was part of, like, a San Diego State program to go help inner city schools to go seek out students.
I love those programs.
Yeah, I love those programs.
Yes.
Rebecca, shout out. She knows that she totally seeked me out, and I started this program with her just for the free pizza. Like, she's like, oh, we're giving free pizza if you come after school. And I was like, all right, let me go get some free pizza. And then she really, like, started opening my mind about, like, hey, what school are you going to go to, what university? I always, like, worked since I was able to work. So in my job, I told you guys I work at Pan Express. I worked around a lot of Asian people. All of my respect, they're very financially smart, and they all saw me so young, hustling, like working really hard, working a lot of hours, that they all kind of took me in, like, as their daughter, right? Like, I was a general manager at 19, and they were all, like, in their 40s and 50s, and they're like, wow, you're, like, the youngest general manager, getting bonuses of, like, $10,000, $20,000 because of my sales. So my boss is giving me a check. He's like, what are you going to do with it? And I was like, I don't know. Again, don't know about money. What do you do when you get a big chunk of money, right?
Spend it.
Yeah. Right? But thankfully, like, my inner 8-year-old broke self couldn't just, like, take that and spend it, right? So, like, I've always been really good with my money, like, saving and hustling it, right?
Yeah, that's good.
And, well, then my bosses started, like, guiding me, right? Like, hey, like, well, you know, do you have a house? Like, in Vegas, you could get a house for $10,000. But, again, I never really had no one guiding me towards that. I had to go through college, learn a little bit more, a financial, so I got my degree in business management, but I had at the time a partner who did contracting, and he was a contractor. Had all of my family they were all contractors. I remember when 2009 happened and the economy crashed and all the houses fell. I remember telling my uncle, let's buy some houses. Like, I was in college, kind of like Kanye West said, with no idea what I was doing in college, but I didn't want to let down anybody. So I was just in college with no idea what she's doing in college. So I
love the Kanye.
Yeah, like that. I just had that, like, that song resonates with me so much. She's in college, but she has no idea what she's doing in college. I knew I was a hustler at heart. I was like, I could get my real estate license in a year and, like, sell houses, and I had the personality to it. And that was just always something I had a passion for, but, like, I wanted to do the right and safe thing to do, which was go to college, get a degree.
Follow that path that everybody else.
Yes.
Yep.
Because I was scared because I had no safety net, right? And then I got the opportunity to go to Houston. I saw how affordable the houses were. Boom, bada boom, bought a house. But my partner flipped the home. Houston, it was affordable. Bought another home.
Nice.
Flipped another home. I got my real estate license because all my life I've always done 2 hustles. So this is my number 1 tip for everybody. You always have to have 2 hustles. I don't know if you're having one. What the hell are you doing the rest of your time?
And if you got kids, double up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
People think there's a secret sauce.
Yep.
People think there's a secret sauce, and they get so pissed off when I say them. I just work
That's
more, work harder.
That's it. Then the next person. That's it. Oh, how did you do it?
Worked harder.
I worked harder. That's it.
So when I stopped going to school and I was just doing my corporate 9 to 5, that was too little for me. So it was, I'm not doing that a lot. So what did I do? I went and got a real estate license. I didn't do it to sell houses. I did it for my own personal benefit, because any time I would find a home that needed to be flipped, the realtor would take it and give it to a contractor. So I said, I'm not doing all that. Yeah. Let me get my license, find my houses, and that's what I was doing.
Yourself. Smart.
But I had to separate it, come back to California, sell the houses over there. But one of my mentors had started her Airbnb business, which she was doing in her house, and I saw that she was able to rent her rooms in her house, and I love that. But I didn't feel like that was going to be my to-go-to business. But I had to, when I was in Texas, I had to fly out to California and move my mom into a home and into a studio, her own little studio. And when I did that, I moved her into a studio with this lady who lived in the main house by herself. But she had 3 little units in the back of her house. And I saw this lady, and she's like, yeah, and she said, I rent one person there, and I have my renter there, and that's how I just live off. And I said, oh my God, that's what I need my mom to do, you know? I could totally, coming back to San Diego, it was so expensive, right? But my ultimate goal, you asked me earlier, what was your dream, right? My dream was always to buy my mom a house. She never had a house. My goal was to always buy her house. So I was like, I need to buy her house, but she won't be able to afford to pay a house in San Diego. It's so ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
So how am I going to finagle it so that the house pays for itself, right? So then that's how I started my Airbnb business. My goal was to set up my mom, to just buy my mom her house, but have some sort of income so they could pay it off. Supplement, yeah. Yeah, just so that she doesn't have to worry about it, right? And I did that. But the property that I bought was pretty big and had a lot of opportunities. So I built another living unit, and then I lived there myself. Now, since I had a business paying off my personal house, or my mom's house, it allowed me to save up and buy another home, which I bought another property in a very touristical area, to then start doing more Airbnb. And
it sounds like when you said that, you built a unit on the property for you to live in, it goes back to that ego thing that we talked about. Is like you in order to get to a certain status and have a certain amount of money, the ego you have to lower that ego. And it's not.
You think I want to live in the hood, Tommy?
Exactly.
I came back to San Diego. I had 2 houses in Houston. One of them was paid off in half an acre by downtown. I came back to San Diego. I had to humble myself real quick. I went back to renting. Yeah. But to your point, Tommy, I wanted to get a nice. When I had the opportunity to, I could have been living in the nicest high rise in downtown. That was always my dream. Imagine a little girl from the hood being able to afford a nice high rise by the condo, and I could. But once I was gonna sign that lease paper and seeing how much money I was gonna spend on rent, I literally couldn't sign it. It was gonna be $40,000 in rent, and I said, "Whoa, that's like a whole down payment. That's my whole house in Texas cost. Oh my God!" And to your point, Tommy, what I could afford in San Diego at the time was I was looking for a very specific location, knowing my business, knowing that I had a business in mind. I wanted to be centered, but central San Diego is not the nicest areas, right?
True. If you look at the heart of San Diego and literally go 5 miles from there,
you're in some
rough
neighborhoods.
It's not the ideal,
not at all.
So to your point, I had to humble myself. And being and I don't mind living with my mom. I love my mom. I think this is, after being away for a couple of years, this is nice for us to bond. But to your point, a lot of people don't want to do those sacrifices. And people are like, you're living, because it's only me and my mom. So half an acre is a lot for just me and my mom. So there's no need for me to pay another $2,000 just
because you can't.
Right.
Because, why? Yeah. I can use that money to invest somewhere else.
Right. Or put your mom in the small house and then you live in the big house. Because that's why my mom can have the big house. And I'm like, I'll move in the back.
I literally moved I'm in the small house. That's your house. I'm just here temporarily, Mom. I'm currently looking for my own house. Thank God, But God's good. I swear, God's always good. Because I feel like He knows where my heart's at. He's helped me every step of the way. So.
That's super dope. I'm excited to hear, that journey, because that's not a typical journey, right? Mm-hmm. And like you said, people seen your light, people seen something in you, and was like, yo, let me show you a different way. And it legitimately, if you think about it, that goes for everything in life. If we tell our kids this all the time. You have to want to help yourself for other people to want to help you.
Yeah, no one's gonna help you.
No, you can't just sit there like, help me. Like, it's not gonna fall in your lap.
But when people saw like a little girl like working her ass off, going to school, and like they're like, look at her, and they saw how much I give and help my parents. They're like, wow, you're a good person. Let me kind of put you up on game.
Exactly.
Let me show you what I'm doing. But also in return, I love to like pass that on. And I think that sometimes with my friends, to my friends, I'm pretty hard on them. Like I want them to do more, but it's because I feel like you guys don't know what you don't know. So I'm trying to show you what somebody showed me.
That's funny that you say that. That is funny that you say that, because we always talk about
I ride my friends. I feel bad. It's because I see more in you than you see in yourself.
As long as they appreciate it and then don't look at you like a bitch.
Yes, exactly. Is Sandra being assertive, or is she being a bitch right now?
No, I think they've come to appreciate it. Like literally everybody. It's funny, right? Because now how life happens, right? They'll come for advice. Hey, I'm buying a house now. I'm always willing to help, because somebody helped me. I can't say that nobody else helped me. No, I've gotten a lot of help. Yeah. So any opportunity I can to like share any tips I have, I'll definitely share. But don't ask me what I'm making or how much my house costs or how much this costs. It doesn't matter. It's not going to impact you or yours.
Oh, man. People are always trying to count your pockets.
What?
It is so true. And it's not going to make them any better or any worse.
I'm broke.
At all. Even
all
if
my money's in my
if I have money, if I don't have money, like, it's not going to make you any better at all. So I have 4 qualities of a woman that's a leader. I want to see if you guys agree with them or your opinions on them, right? So one is that as a woman leader, we are more persuasive than our counterparts. Do you guys agree or not?
Women are definitely more persuasive.
No, I feel like guys play that same card too. I've seen it. I've seen guys try to work their charm all the time. And I should have look, pretty boy over there, that shit's gonna slide right down. Okay? Those eyes and all that is not working for me. Danielle, so guys try just as hard as women.
Yeah, you're right.
We've had a whole episode on game, right? So yes, you are correct about that. But women are like, if you go through the history of like just life, period. If you look at everything that's ever happened from a world perspective, a woman was right there being persuasive.
Oh, boy. The only things I could think of are biblical. The first thing that came to my mind was Delilah and Samson, right? She convinced him to cut his hair. And then Eve, that's the main story, right? But those are the only ones that I can think of where a woman was persuasive.
Now go back to, Winston Churchill, every president, like all these guys, their number one counsel was their wives.
You're absolutely right.
So, and that's why women, and well, not women, but that's why men.
But they weren't leaders, but they were close.
They were counsel.
That's true.
Like when it comes, I don't know how you want to say it, but your best counsel is your spouse. You know what I mean? And especially, and from an entrepreneur standpoint, if you have 2 entrepreneurs, and like for us, we're in the same industry, right? We work together, and our counsel is a little bit more difficult because we're in the same thing. Mm-hmm. But if you're 2 people outside, and it's like, all right, well, I'm dealing with this, you're dealing with this. Yeah, that's the best counsel. Ours is a little bit more tainted because it's like you may lean towards my way or I may lean towards your way.
So we've been in 2 different industries before, right? When you were in the same industry pretty much now, and I was in medical, so we talked a whole different language.
Yeah, and you was my best counsel then.
No, but for me, not you. Nah.
Not you?
No.
He didn't know what the hell I was talking about. I was like, and then I had friends who had, people who were in the same, they were both technologists, and I'm like, damn, that's dope. You get to go home and you guys get to,
Okay, well, you're taking from a shared, like a
knowledge perspective. I think I get where Tommy's coming from. And I have to agree because, like, my boyfriend's in my same industry, and I find myself, like, annoyed sometimes, like I don't fucking want to talk about work. I'm fucking done with work.
Exactly.
Okay.
So to your point, like sometimes when I have peers whom I don't work with at all in the industry, it's fucking nice to talk about, like, let me vent to you about work and you just kind of agree with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Don't try to coach me. You can't coach me because you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. Because I used to come home and I tell you about all my employee issues and you'd be like, well, babe, maybe you was too hard or maybe this and that. Now I say something, you'd be like, no, they deserve it.
Because they did. This is true.
So we kind of beat that one up.
We did. All right. So women are their leadership style is team building. So it's more problem solving and decision making is a woman's leadership style. Do you guys think that or not? I say yes and no.
I say yes and no too because it totally depends on the woman. I feel like me 100%. Like I feel like I've been able to prosper in my corporate world because that's the approach I take. I build a team, like a strong foundation, and then I lean on my team to pull the work. Whereas I see a lot of my male counterparts, they're like, me, and try to take it on themselves, and they burn themselves out. And I'm like, bro, why are you doing all that? Because you wanted to look good, right? I don't care about looking good. I care about my whole team looking good. And guess what? They do all my work. I love when I build a good team.
Yes.
And then I do nothing.
The best.
They take care of me like mama, you know?
That's smart. So, and that's what I was going to say. So that's why I like that, but I don't because then it goes back to the whole mom type
then you're
thing,
the mom.
you know? Yes, because then it's like, okay, so what are you saying? Like we're nurturing or like we're like, okay, let's team build, guys, and that's true though. We naturally fall into that kind of position, but it's kind of needed in the company.
True. So I think my approach, the way I would look at it is the feminine energy. So both of you have a high level of feminine energy that caters more than any masculine energy that you may carry on. And with feminine energy, your approach is always with love, you know, so being in C-level positions and now with feminine energy, you're bringing love to the table no matter what. So yes, you will bring that team approach. You will bring that mom nurturing approach, that collectiveness of collaboration. So if you don't, and now me personally, I haven't worked with a lot of women that didn't have feminine energy on a higher end.
Like I've kind of seen a little bit.
Yeah. I've never, I mean, maybe one or two, and more than likely, it probably worked for me. They had masculine energy, and they were just like anybody else with the masculine energy. So to work with someone feminine is what I'm used to. So I've always seen that approach.
So what does masculine energy bring? If feminine does like love and nurture.
The masculine energy is more mission driven. It's all about
independent work.
Yeah, it's all about
just hammering down.
I'm gonna hammer it down. I'm not gonna do this with any how I call it swan like mentality. It's nothing swan like about this.
And see, and this is why when a woman comes in with the same kind of perspective, she's looked at like, wait a minute, you're supposed to be lovey and you're supposed to be all fluffy, and it's like, oh wait, no.
Yeah, but
so that makes sense.
Yeah, and if you understand,
that makes sense.
And if you're in the room and you understand feminine and masculine energy, then you wouldn't have that expectation. You just pick it up like, okay, this is a woman with feminine energy. This is my expectation. Oh, this is a woman with masculine energy. That's what's going to come from it.
You know what, Tommy? Sometimes what happens though is I had a great leader back in the station when we worked, and he kind of understood who I was, right? So when he came to splitting projects, he would be like, "Hey, Sandra, you want to take care of like the associate?" One day I was like, "Nah, nope. Let Joe over there take care of the associate bullshit. He needs help with that." Because all the associates complain about him, so he needs help with it. Let him do it. I was like, I want to go ahead and do that project with the Excel sheet that I don't know how to fucking work, but I want to do it. You know?
Yeah.
Sometimes, like Danielle's points, like we're seen so motherly that, but I flip my switch once in a while. Sometimes I don't want to be the mom. Sometimes I just want to be like Data.
I want the challenge.
Yeah, sometimes I want the challenge. You know what I mean? Because mother is too easy for me. Yeah. It comes naturally. Yeah. So I challenge myself to try to take on the complicated projects.
Give me something harder. Yeah. Another thing is that when rejected, that we learn from it and we come back with I'm gonna do better, like a revengeful type attitude. Like, oh no, I'm gonna come back and do better and be better, no matter what it is.
You saying that's what women? I'm gonna have to go 50-50 on that one. Yeah. I
think so too. Yeah, and I've seen it, and I see girls like literally take the
crush.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I'm 50-50 on that too, because and it's a hard, you definitely want to. Sometimes it takes. I think I went through it like in a couple months ago. Sometimes it takes a lot for you to like shake some shit off and just keep it pushing. You know what I mean?
It's so true.
So I say 50-50 on that one too.
Yeah, it's hard to be
not
rejected or to
Sometimes I'm like, fuck, you don't want me, I don't want you.
Yeah, that's true. Just walk away.
It wasn't meant to be.
That's my approach. It's easy to walk away from that.
Oh, I'm at that point now. I'm at that point where, you know what, you did me dirty. I don't even care.
Oh, what is your new
Charge
saying?
it to the gate.
So my man Nas, shout out to Nas. His last album, he has he has a song on there where he says, "I work too damn hard to be around people I don't like," and I was like, that's it right there.
That's it. I literally just posted a video and I saw this girl say, I'm only here for fuck yes type of energy. Fuck yes, I want to hang out with you. Fuck yes, I want to talk to you. Fuck yes, I want your energy. And I said, yeah. Anything less, I don't want it. Because you know what? There's like a fuck ton of people who rather have my energy.
Yo, I love that.
So true.
Like, we about to start saying that. If you don't get a fuck yes out of me, then
it's okay, cool, not you. Because there's like, honestly, I'm not trying to be like full of myself, but like you know what I'm saying. Like I would rather spend time with my fucking puppies. So you know what I mean. My fucking.
I'd rather be reading a book, so I know what you're talking about.
You know,
that's dope. I like it.
My last thing is that women in leadership usually ignore the rules and take risk. Do you guys agree?
I don't know if you just well, yes. I personally, I'm in this stage in my life where I kind of am preaching to all my male counterparts. Like, you guys don't take risks. Men are so fucking, like, not scared, but they rather do the conservative risk, you know? I've, like, emptied out my savings, like, 3 times in my life and fucking put it all on the table, almost out. First time I did it, I remember it was like, oh, I don't give a fuck it. If you don't risk it all, you don't win, right? And then I did it again. And then I did it one more time. And then, like, I've known people my whole life who've never done it.
Right.
But I said, well, fuck it. Like, I'm only at this age now, and, like, if I lose it all, fuck it. I know I have this confidence in me that I'll go back and get it again.
I love that. That's my mom taught me that early on. Like, it's just materialistic. You can lose it all, and you can get it all right back. But it's funny.
Struggle with that.
Yeah, it's like the I don't know if I want to say this or not, but it's the they're scared to like let their balls out now, you know, either they're scared to put their balls on the table, you know, and then I guess what we would do is like just put our titties on the table, right? Like, is that what it is? I guess let it all hang out. I don't know, but you know, now it's like, hey, fuck it, you know, like we're gonna try this, and then it may work, it may not.
No, but you know it's funny because you when we be in our meetings, you say balls on the table a lot. I mean, like, you really love that one. You like that one, but I have to agree with you guys on the risk taking 1,000% in my own personal world, because you have actually inspired me to just say fuck it. Like, we've walked away from things and I'll be like, nah, we gotta. Everything was calculated with me, and you was like, nah, fuck that.
You know, if there's
like, all right, yeah, fuck it.
If there's like one thing I've learned from working in these companies, because I think both of the companies that I spend a lot of my time with are very successful companies, and obviously you're gonna pick up something from fucking working with them, right? And one thing I've learned from working with them is with anything that you do, it's okay not to be 100% there. And like, that's a free tip here, team. You know, free for the world. It took me a lot to learn this, but meaning if your project, your idea, whatever the fuck you got going on, you don't know 100% of it, don't wait to know 100%. Just throw yourself at it at 80%.
1,000%.
Figure the 20% on the way there. And a lot of my male counterparts, I feel like, get stuck. And they don't ever do nothing because they get to that 80, 85, but they don't get that 15, so they never do it.
True.
You know?
Yeah. You know, and that's real, because actually I, had this thought yesterday. I think I was talking to you. I'm always throwing myself at something. And like, whatever challenge I'm going to go in. One challenge I've never done for myself and went the 85 to 100 was my own health.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I need to take my health more serious. And instead of waiting for everything to be perfect, it's like, oh, well, I need all these things to be healthy. Yeah. Now I'm like, nah, fuck that. Let's just go all in and figure it out from there. And now it's kind of fucking with me. So I totally agree with you on just like stop being so calculated and everything, you know.
Take a little bit of risk and figure out. Obviously, calculated risk. I'm not saying empty out your savings and go. Yeah. You know.
Don't do that no more. Unless you've never done it. If you've never done it, try it once.
Try it once. I mean, calculated risk. Obviously, like, you know, I think I have a backup to all my risks that I take, like a plan B that I never really established because I just heard this from somebody, and I totally believe it. Plan B is for suckers. We only have a plan A because we're fucking determined, you know? But I always have, like, you know, my little, I'm a woman. At the end of the day, I figure, I don't know, I've hustled everything, man. I figure I'll get it again.
That's real. That's real.
Hustle hard. And I've learned that from you, too, is like, you could walk away or you could lose everything and shit, go out there and get it again. And we've done that. Like last year, we lost a lot of shit last year. And we've got it all back double fold.
Getting it back, yeah. Well, folks, it looks like we're out of wine and out of time.
What?
Sandra,
It's been fun.
Where can we find you? Because you have the boat company here in San Diego, and that's going to be expanding. So where can people find, you know, if they want to hop on a charter with you and your Airbnbs?
SD Boat Rentals, privatecharters.com.
SD Boat Rentals, privatecharters.com.
Yes.
And you can find that same thing on social media, both Facebook and Instagram.
Yes, and Instagram, and you can find me on Facebook.
Super dope. Sandra, thank you for hanging out with us.
Yes, thank you.
This is Lyfe and Shyt.
Love you.
Love you.
Talk to Dani.
Do us a favor. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe. Leave a review. Let us know what your thoughts are. That's the only way that this show is going to be successful. And we appreciate you. Talk with you next time.